Hey gang, it's Redder doing my weekly update here for you. Sorry about the shaky cam, I'm doing this with my iPhone. I haven't got too much done in the car as far as deconstruction wise, because I'm relegated to hand tools. My stuff haven't arrived from Germany yet, so I'm just stuck using just a 3/8 drive stuff and a couple of screwdrivers and whatnot. So I don't have my full complement of tools here yet, but hopefully soon I will. Remember the last video I posted a problem about there's a big gap on the right side of this valance and the quarter panel, and I didn't know whether the quarter panel was really that banged up that caused that space. But I took the valance off and I discovered, this is the right side of the valance by the way, I discovered that if you notice that bracket is right against the seam there. Alright, notice how close it is there. This side is the left side. And you can see how far the bracket is away from the seam and the angle that it's sitting at. So it's the valance that's the problem. And man, I bought this a long time ago, cheap stuff from foreign country. Yeah, that's the problem. So what I plan on doing is grinding that off. I'm gonna do like Turbo Cobra did, and most other people do, and weld it to the quarter panel after I get this quarter panel replaced and fixed. But I think that'll solve that issue. The other issue I discovered, and again it was due to cheap Chinese parts, was the stone guard at the front. Sorry about the lack of light here. I got my flashlight in my pocket. When I had my fenders on there, I had my bumper mounted, and the bumper was about on this side, and I could mock it up again, but I just don't have the energy to do that. The bumper was wrapping around the front fender, and it was about 2 inches on this side from touching the fender, and about 3 inches on this side. And I discovered that the front stone guard was narrow, or is too narrow for the fenders to allow the fender gap to be made up on the bumper, if that makes sense. Because I remember when I stuck this on here, I can't really get close up because this camera will go crazy. But the holes on the valance I had to elongate to align with the fender and the valance, the front valance. So that stone guard there is pretty much trash. And you know, I could probably cut it, weld in 1 inch on each side, but you know, if it's like $20, I can get a Scott Drake one for spend a little bit more, then I will put my time into that thing. It'll probably take me a couple hours to make that, so I think I can just go ahead and eat the cost on that and just buy a Scott Drake one that I know will fit and will be correct. Oh, Gary, also a couple things. Like I said, I bought these at a swap meet real cheap, so they are not the Ford Moco ones. These are made in Taiwan. They do have a little damage on them, so I'll have to pound out and primer and everything like that. But yeah, I think I paid $75 for these quarters back in 1996. So yeah, I wish I could find a set of nice reproductions, but I've already got these, so I'll just work with what I got. Reminds me, let me ask you a question, you guys. E-coat, should I completely strip the E-coat off before I throw primer on this, or should I just scuff the E-coat and then put primer on it, block it, guide coat it, and then find out where my holes are, or my high and low spots? If you guys could let me know on that, because I'm a rookie at body work, I really appreciate your advice on that. So again, should I just strip the E-coat down to metal, or just sand it and use the E-coat, scuff it, prime it, and then find out where my low spots are? I appreciate the help on that. The doors, I think I'm just going to sand. I'll put a guide coat on there, sand, and find out where my spots are. I think this primer is probably still good. Again, well, maybe I'll let you guys chime in on that one too. I primed this in 1996. There doesn't seem to be any rust underneath of it. So assuming I don't find any rust, should I just be okay with this primer? I don't know. Let me know. Appreciate that. But other than that, the other update is the back of the car. It's not as bad as I thought it was. So sorry about the lack of light in here. I'll fix that. But yeah, I took out the the thing had the fuel cell in, the bucket in there. I think I'm going to just run a fuel cell, even though I really don't want to, because I'm too race car-ish. But when I was racing this car before, I had the stock fuel tank in there, and I had a electric fuel pump I rigged up to this thing. And when I take off, fuel would come pouring out of this because there's no stopper or no one-way valve on these Mustangs. I could probably weld one in there, go to a junkyard and find one and modify the tank or modify the fuel neck. But you know, I've already got that, so you know, I'll just save the money and put it someplace else. Also, I wish it was lighter right here. This panel, the car's been rear-ended before, or rear-ended, not when I owned it, so previous to me owning it. Sometime it was pounded back here, and there's a lot of Bondo and a lot of dents in the back. If you look on the back side of this, it's got the crap pounded out of it, with somebody trying to pound the dent out. I know for the work I could probably fill it and be okay, but I got a new panel, and I know it's the extra work, but I'm just going to go ahead and put the panel in there just for the experience. I think it'll pay off, because I know it's a structural part of the car, but I think the experience of putting this panel in will, you know, pay off in future endeavors when I go to build another car. So it does have a tear. Again, I don't think I can focus in with this camera, but there is a tear right there underneath that middle hole. If you go down a little bit, there is a tear in that thing. Really can't see from here, from the stretching of the metal. That came off, so I just kind of peeled right off, so I might have some rust issues. And also, I think there's something going on right there too. I think I had a little tear on the inside from when this car was bashed in the back. But I think that body line might have been made out of filler too. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just replace it. I got the panel right there. Again, I could probably fill it, you know, but I'm just going to take that panel off just as an experience. So I've seen people do it, so I got a pretty good idea of how to do it. So I'll be doing it and probably asking you guys some questions along the way too about that. This rear end, I'm going to probably not use, well, I'm going to not use this one because it's 52 inches from axle flange to axle flange, 52 1/4 inches, which is exactly what a Mustang uses. So that I traced this axle type, and it came out of like a 55 to 59 Ranchero, which happened to be the almost same dimensionally apparently as the Mustangs. But the tubes for what engine I'm going to put in this car, I just don't want to make this the weak link. So I'm going to go ahead and use this differential, use this 9-inch here, and this one's out of an E-Series van, which is a little thicker. God, again, I'm sorry for the lack of light in here, but this, you can see right there, this is reinforced welded. Tubes are much thicker, so I'm going to use this diff in the Mustang. The cases, that is a war case. The one on the right is a war case. That is, you know, it depends on who you talk to. The war cases are kind of weak, or they're just sufficient enough for like a street car. I'm going to go ahead and use that one. That one is, God, I forget what year it was, but anyway, that's got a little more nodular iron content than the war. So I'm going to go ahead and use that too. Use that case right there. I got gears. I think I got, oops, sorry about that. I got 373s or 411s in a box. Since this is going to be a naturally aspirated car and a little squirt of juice, I think I can get away with running 373s and 411s on the street with an AODE, so I'm going to run an overdrive transmission. I would, you know, I contemplated numerous times thinking about putting a manual transmission, but if I did that, I don't know if I could go with a 4 or a 5-speed. I have to go with a 6-speed, and I know dimensionally those things will not fit in this car. And I'm not that good of a fabricator to try that yet. Maybe the next car I get, after I build this one, maybe I will put a 6-speed in it, but for right now, it's the money and the skill right now. I'm going to get a little better before I do that. I think it'll handle it. It's just a street car anyway, street show car, so I'm not going to be, you know, driving this thing too much. So I think get away with the 373, an AODE, and a little shot of juice on this thing, be all right. Also, I forgot I put my ignition stuff underneath the dash, so I throw the wiring out for that. My multi-step, my two-step, and my MSD ignition. That was sitting where the heater is. I'm going to put a heater back in this thing, so now I got to find a home for that stuff. I might make a metal case, fabricate a metal box, and put it on the outside of the fenders here somewhere, probably on the other side. I think I'll put my tranny cooler right here and notching. God, it's a really horrible light. I'm sorry, guys. Notching this for vent holes. Put my tranny cooler behind here, or I just might do like Turbo Cobra did, and put on the outside of the skirt. I'm just worried about rock damage and stuff. Rocks getting flinged up in there. But yeah, that's like I said, a long time down the road. I got to tear these shock towers out first to get that stuff done, get that rod and custom front end. Hopefully my stuff will be here, and I'll be able to cut all this crap out. I got my plasma cutter, but I just don't have any other grinders and anything else. My air tools are all on their way. So that hopefully should keep me busy for the next couple of weeks until my stuff does get here, because I got basic, like I said, I got basic hand tools I can tear apart. The running, whatever's left in the car right now with basic hand tools. And I'm still contemplating on thinking a lot about a lot of things on this car. But putting a rotisserie, building a rotisserie and putting it on that, because the undercoating needs replaced, or I'm sorry, the undercoating needs scraped off. So I just might, I don't feel like welding on my back. I don't feel like cleaning on my back. So I just might build a simple rotisserie and I put the car on that and flip it on its side. All right, windows. Anybody got any good ideas on how to remove a window? I don't think this is a glued-in style. I think this is a seal-in style, but I'd like to remove the window. If anybody has any tips on doing that without breaking it, I know that's a chore in itself, but I want to remove these without breaking them. Yeah, and if I can any tips on that, I'll probably research that on YouTube, see if anybody's done it. But yeah, I would rather not break the windows. Yeah, but yeah, I think that's it. That's the update for this week. I'll have an update next week, and hopefully next time you see this, all the suspension will be gone and my stuff will be here. All right, thanks guys. Appreciate you watching and appreciate the comments. Thanks a lot.